Hi friends, you would have created data pipelines, ETL pipelines, where you must be ingesting your data, and for processing the data you would have used Spark clusters, right? And Spark cluster you would have used PySpark, you would have written some jobs for the data transformation, for working on that data, you would have written a lot of Python jobs, okay? Let's understand, and it's the very important topic which interviewer love to ask, okay? What are the best practices for the PySpark, okay? Or how you can improve they can ask this question a different way, how you can improve your Spark jobs performance, okay? So let's go through one by one, okay? Here I have put everything in one shot, okay? But we will go one by one in the next slide. The first one is avoid collect on large data, okay? So the collect function, it brings data to the driver and sometimes it can crash your entire memory, okay? So instead of using the collect function, like when you are loading your data frame, instead of using the df.collect, like loading the whole data frame, instead of use df select function, and with the select function you just select whatever the columns you want to work on, and dot show functions, okay? So always use here data frame show method, limit method, never use collect method, okay? Next one, whenever you are trying to select a column, okay? So for if you want to try to select a column and you want to read a column, you are going to use the select method. Like here, if you see here Spark, you are reading a Parquet file, that's a Parquet file path, and here you are just selecting ID and name, okay? So all, and here if you see there is no select method. What is the difference between these two? Okay, here it will load your whole data frame, okay? And it will unnecessary, it takes lot of memory, okay? Instead of here, what your command does, it just selects, you are going to just work on the ID and name columns. So you just selected out of that ID and name column, okay? So always whenever you are working on Spark, okay, always remember what columns you are going to work upon, and always use the select method, and with that select use all those columns, okay? The third one is the filter early, okay? What again it comes to the memory management, right? So what you do, instead of working on the whole data and scanning to whole data again and again, what you do, whatever the data you think it's useful for you, you filter early, okay, instead of waiting for the last time, and then you work on that data. Like if you see here in this example, what we have done, df.filter country equal to US. So here you already put a filter where you are interested in only data where the country is US is there, and then you are joining with another data frame with ID, okay? But if you see here what you are doing, it first you are joining it and then you are filtering with the country. So what happens internally, because Spark, wherever you use Spark, Spark doesn't work in a small data set. It's like a distributed computing, and your data set size will be very large. And in those cases, if you do filter at first, you basically reducing the size of your data set, so automatically your performance will be increased, okay? Here again you are joining the data, you are joining two large data set, and then you are filtering it. So basically you are wasting lot of memory, okay, and in terms of lot of performance compute also, because it has to compute, join both those two big data frames, okay? Next one is, if the tables are small, okay, and if you want to join it, use the broadcast functions, okay, instead of using the expensive joins like inner join or left join, okay, use the broadcast function. Next one, again it comes to the same thing, avoid too many with columns, okay? So whenever you create a new column, okay, don't create, because whenever you create a new column, okay, it takes some space in your memory, okay? So remember, wherever you need to create a new column, you create it, okay, but don't create just like that, okay. So be mindful when you create the column, and instead of what you can also do, so if you see here what we are doing it, we are basically selecting column A, okay, and we are creating it over here, right. And here in this second one, what you do, you just renaming the same column, okay. expr1 is a column is there, you are renaming with A, and another column is expr2 and you are renaming with B, right. Here what you do, you are creating a new column of A and B. So such type of situation where you really don't have a need to create a new column, you are just creating it because you want to use column with the name as A and B. So don't do that, because it will again create lot of memory issues. You are wasting your memory in a two columns. Okay, next one is window functions. You may already know we use the window function to filter the data set in row format, right. It's a very powerful tool where you can work on your data frame not in the column size, you can work in the row wise, okay. But again, it's very expensive, so use it very wisely, okay. Next one is, again, for everything, the caching. You always know the caching memory is always used in the in memory, like in memory is always very small, right. So always whenever you need caching, use it mindfully. Wherever you think like, okay, that particular data set or that particular column you are going to use again and again, okay, store that in the caching, okay, but not everything you store in the caching, because caching memory is very limited. Next one is repartition versus coalesce, okay. So always use coalesce instead of repartition, because in the repartition it is going to scan your whole data frame, it will be full shuffle, okay. So these are the few best practices. If you use it, it will improve your performance of your Spark job. And very important question in the interviewer time also. So in short, few things always remember: caching whenever it is needed, don't take many columns, use the columns how many you want it, use the select method, don't overuse the window function, okay, and filter early, and don't use the collect method. Hope these 10 points helps you to improve the performance of your Spark. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you.